Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Arsenic Candy Gaming. And welcome to my first channel update. Something I've never done before, and probably anybody with half a brain would have made the effort to write a script down, but I'm winging it apparently, which is just a terrible, terrible idea. Update is long overdue, I guess, because I have been absent for a couple of weeks. I can't even remember the last time I uploaded a video, and there's been a few reasons for that. I guess really going back to the beginning would be really helpful. So for those who don't know, outside of uploading videos on YouTube and playing on Twitch and stuff, I have been a self-employed photographer for the better part of the last 14 years, specializing in weddings and portraits and band promotional photography. Obviously, with 2020 and the pandemic, I was unable to do that job because you can't take photographs of people when you're not allowed out of your house to be around people. So in early 2020, I took on other employment working in retail, which had its ups and downs. I thoroughly enjoyed being around people in a different way than I had before. I mean, being a photographer is great, but it's very voyeuristic, and sometimes you're very much on the outside of everything that's happening, not really involved in it. It can be quite a lonely job. It's definitely exciting and fun, but you can be very lonely at times, and it does play havoc with your mental health. So being in a retail environment where I was working very closely with other people was really great for me, and did my confidence and my my general mental health much better, right up until the point where somebody tried to stab me, which wasn't so great. So I left there, and then at the end of 2021 I had an opportunity to do another job which I was really keen on, which was working in the social sector, doing support work with people that are not well off, basically, we'll say, just supporting people that are struggling financially. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very rewarding, both financially and for myself, for my soul, shall we say. It was very rewarding. I am saddened but also pleased to say that that contract is coming to an end. Sad because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I definitely enjoyed the consistent money coming in, but happy because it has freed up some spare time. The last couple of weeks have been spent finishing up a load of very important cases with people so that I didn't leave anybody in the lurch upon leaving. But thankfully I'm tying that up now, and in the next few days I will no longer be there, which leaves a little more time for producing content, which is something that I've missed. Which also neatly brings us into the other reason why we haven't uploaded any content recently. And that is because with my day job having been being a photographer for the better part of X amount of years, my computer is very important to me. It is where I store and edit my photographs. Unfortunately, my editing software was struggling somewhat, as was my video editing software and some other stuff. I was having some slowdown and some lag and some other issues. So I set about remedying my computer, cleaning it internally, externally, wiping some drives, deleting some unnecessary files, reinstalling some programs. It was all good. Things were working great. I've reinstalled all my software, and much to my disappointment, I found that whereas most of my programs and games had cloud saved all the settings and save files, etc., Caves of Cud had not. I don't know how, I don't know why. I definitely have cloud save set up on all of my software to my knowledge, but Caves of Cud didn't. So it's a bit of a running theme with the last you know, a whole bunch of the most recent runs we've done on Caves of Khud is that it's come to an abrupt end, whether that's like a stupid death or corrupt save files or, you know, losing an episode or two of a video somehow. It's been consistently going wrong, and it's been very frustrating, especially with a game like Khud, where, you know, you build up the momentum and your character's starting to steamroll over everybody, and then you die and you've got to start all over again. It can be disheartening. It can be very difficult to start again sometimes, especially if you've had a few runs in a row where it's done it. So I was struggling to build up the energy and willpower to get back into doing Khud, and definitely struggling to bring the announcement to people that the time we'd invested in our Truekin build had been for nothing. But there you go. That's why it's one of the things that happens when you play Khud. It's definitely one of the things that happen when you are a content creator, but the two seem to be happening too frequently. And that brings me to my next announcement, which is that I would like to start bringing some other titles to the channel. It's something that, you know, we were doing and we have been doing for a long time, but obviously with the nature of the job I was doing, it didn't leave a lot of time for content creation. And I made sure that I was as regularly as possible uploading Caves of Khud video, because it is the bread and butter of the channel. It has been since, you know, day one. I say day one. It's been day one that we started getting regular viewers and new subscribers and stuff. Caves of Khud has been there since the start of that, and I love Caves of Khud. It's very important to me. It's given me a lot of stories that I've not been able to match in any other game prior to that. I thoroughly enjoy the stories that I get out of it, and I enjoy sharing those stories with other people, and people have seemed to enjoy them. It's been very rewarding. It's been great knowing that has meant something to people, because people have taken the time to subscribe to the channel or like a video or comment on a video, and getting engrossed in the characters that we've been taking along the way and the adventures that we've had. And that's been especially great because I know how much that meant to me being part of somebody else's journey when I was watching people like Splattercat and Avak and various others. When I first started getting into watching YouTube Let's Plays. So it feels nice knowing that somebody is joining me on my journey. That being said, that journey's become quite Khuddy and frustrating at times. So I just want to bring some other stuff to the channel. That's not to say that we're going to stop playing Khud, because we're definitely not. But I just wanted to advise people that, you know, there might be a little break before the next episode of Khud, and where we're going to fill it with some other games. There's been some games that have been on my list of things to play for quite a while. There's a lot of games that I've picked up the freebies that come on Epic Game Store and that come with a Twitch Prime account, or, you know, I've got an ongoing subscription to Humble Choice that, you know, drops me a dozen games every month that I've hardly installed any of them, let alone played any of them. And there's been a lot of bangers that I really wanted to bring to the channel, or just to play, and I haven't had the time. So we're definitely going to bring some of those out. There's some classic games that I've wanted to play on the channel since the very start of it, but just getting the wheels turning and getting it going has proved difficult. I've wanted to play Project Zomboid, let's go for example, on the channel since I can remember. It's a great game with lots of stories that can unfold, and I think it's going to appeal to similar crowd that Caves of Khud will appeal to. Kenshi, for anybody who's never heard of Kenshi, please go and check out somebody's videos on it, because it's just a fantastic experience. It's a samurai punk sandbox RPG, and I don't think I've ever played anything like it. It's wonderful. I miss playing my roguelike deck building games, Slay the Spire, Ring of Pain, Rogue Book, Grifflands. God, I completely forgot Grifflands existed until just then. There's a lot of games that I've you know, a lot of areas of games that I enjoy that I've neglected, and I'd like to, you know, break away from that a little bit. Star Sector has had a couple of updates, and I absolutely adore Star Sector. We've got some videos on the channel already for people who haven't ever seen Star Sector. It's very similar to, it's often compared to Mountain Blade, but in space. It's a great experience, and if you haven't checked it out, I recommend you go back and find those videos because they're definitely fun. So yeah, I guess that's about it for now. We're back. How regularly and how consistently? Only time will tell, I guess. I'd like to make it a much more regular and consistent thing. I've got some other work in the pipeline, some photo shoots lined up and stuff like that, but I'm going to take a few days break following the end of my contract to relax with my family and record some content, maybe bust out a couple of Twitch streams, which should be linked below if anybody's interested in coming and joining us sometime. But yeah, it'd be great to share some new experiences with you. Don't worry though, as I've already said, will be returning, which I guess now is a prime opportunity to invite you to be part of this experience. So being somebody that doesn't watch a lot of Caves of Could content purely because I don't want to spoil any part of the storyline for myself. I know that we haven't reached too far in the story. I don't even know if I've reached midpoint. I've genuinely not the faintest idea. Tomb of the Eaters and beyond, we've got to. We were heading over to the Rainbow Woods. Is that what it was? The Rainbow Wood is the furthest that I think that we've got before dying. There's certainly a lot of sectors of areas of the game that we have not explored. So I'm open if anyone's got any suggestions of good builds or something that they would like to see, maybe a defect that we've never taken or a mutation that we haven't used. I want to hear it. I'd love to have some suggestions. I'm happy to take, you know, pointers towards a specific video that shows a build. As long as it doesn't spoil too much about the story, I'm happy. I'd also, you know, I'd welcome suggestions for games that we can play on the channel, things that I might not have heard of, things that you're absolutely in love with. Yeah, definitely open to some suggestions. I guess on that note, there's not really a lot more to say at the moment. Maybe a brief apology for the quiet that has been had on the channel the last couple of weeks. I haven't even answered any comments or popped a little heart on anything anyone said, and I know that there are new people coming to the channel very, very regularly. I'm seeing new faces, new subscribers all the time. So thanks to you guys really for joining us. Apologies to you for not bringing any new content, but mostly thank you and apologies to people that have been here for the last couple of years. I feel like I've let people down a little bit by disappearing. I promise you it was, you know, with good intention, for personal reasons, and, you know, I didn't want to just be bringing sloppy nonsense to the channel, which I think I've probably been guilty of a couple of times because of just you know, you don't want to just phone in the content, but sometimes trying to push something out when you're knackered, that happens. Well, I guess without further ado, I've been Arsenic Candy Gaming. You've been fucking marvellous, as always. Feel free to like, subscribe, and drop a comment answering any of the questions. Or if you want to ask any questions, feel free. I'm an open book. You take care now. Goodbye.